I'm going to come over the top, this way, right behind that to hit. But I'm going to do it from...
Hey guys, what's up? It's Eli Knight here with JD Caputo. We're at the Oromocto Boxing Club in Oromocto, New Brunswick, Canada. I'm getting better at saying that. And we were talking about some different boxing mechanics. We were talking about just some fundamentals of boxing, but leading into the clinch range and looking at how, me trying to help provide a grappler's perspective to some of this stuff in the clinch range is maybe going to be helpful. So anyway, we're talking about some different combinations that we like, some different strikes we like to throw, some different clinch concepts. And JD has some details about the overhand right, and we're going to kind of look at that because overhand right can set up a lot of really good entries, guys. So what do you got?
So a few pretty critical components of boxing. Boxing doesn't actually have a lot of techniques in it, but it does have a lot of way to apply those techniques. So it's kind of your cupcake, decorate it however you want to. But now, so what we're going to look at here is he was talking about the overhand right, but I want to talk about a few things first. So we talked about slipping, right? I want to talk a little bit about bobbing, just dropping your weight down preemptively. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a jab at Eli, but if I want to jab his body, I don't lean forward because look at what happened. Yeah, you get wrecked. You're going to get crushed. So when you come in, jab, drop your body weight, throw the jab here. But also, if Eli's punching up top and maybe I don't know what's coming, this is always usually a pretty safe bet, right? It's generally a safe bet. If somebody's aiming for the head, no matter what he's throwing, throw whatever you want. If I can get down there fast enough, right, and if I can get under it, then that's a real benefit for me because I still have my weapons and he's deployed a weapon. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about something that was just changing levels, right? Super dangerous. So if I come up top, again, good jab mechanics. We covered that in a previous video. So I jab, drop my body, jab, jab. And then what I'm going to look to do is I'm going to drop my body down. Maybe I jab here at the body, but then, see, nobody expects you to hit the head from here. But I'm going to come up. Now, if you pay attention to where my feet are, let's talk about this punch a little bit. So I drop my body down, so I've bent myself at the knees. My power's pretty much 50-50. I'm pretty neutral right here. So what I'm going to do, and I'm only dropping this lead hand so you can see a little bit better. So what I'm doing with my right hand is I'm coming up as I turn my foot to engage my hip and the posterior chain. I'm coming over and I'm hitting this way. Why? Because Eli's guard probably up if he's a competent fighter, right? So I'm going to come over the top this way, right behind that to hit. But I'm going to do it from here where he doesn't expect it. See? All the same mechanics. It's all the same thing. One I'm standing, one I'm here. Boom. Now, tells. So what Eli and I were talking about is how you can capitalize on people's tells. Now, for those of you who don't know, and those of you maybe don't have a lot of striking training, a tell is something like, we're going. I see that all the time. So when you think I'm going to throw my jab, whenever you see me do this, right, you know the jab's coming. Another bad tell, and we talked about this earlier, and this comes down to good technique and good training, is don't flare this elbow out wide, guys. You want to punch straight down the middle. Straight down the middle. You give much less indicator, and when you do this, you break up that posterior chain. You lose a ton of power off that strike, and now you're working for the technique's not working for you. So Eli, how do we capitalize on some of the concepts we talked about here?
Yeah, so there's several different things at play happening off of this, but I saw this happen a couple of times by accident. And then I started trying to land it in sparring intentionally because I just thought there was some potential there behind it. And there is, but it's kind of neat because if I mix the concepts of bobbing and dropping my level and changing my level like that and kind of get him confused with that, I do that in response to if I see this guy winging his punches. So if this guy is he's kind of telling like this here, that his shoulders flaring and his elbows flaring out. And so I see this preceding him throwing anything from that rear. So this could be his rear hook, it could be his overhand, it could be his straight right. But if he flares that elbow out like that, I'm like, okay, that's what the data I was looking to collect, and I'm going to counter that with my bob to my overhand. And what tends to happen is this. So if we go nice and slow like this here, when Josh starts to throw this, he starts to wing that punch out, and I notice that, I'm going to drop my level because that's going to keep me safe, like he said, from whatever is arriving off of that, because I know he's headhunting, and so I'm going to drop my level here like this. At the same time, so that I'm clear of that, this hand is going to turn into my overhand right. Now, best case scenario, I think, would be is if I drop, and according to that, I see that shoulder flare, I drop, I hit, boom, right on the chin, knocks him out, and we're done. But there's a couple other things that tend to happen. My punch may land square on the chin, boom, this way. It may land to the right, so the left side of his head, or it may land to the right side of his head. And so we need to have kind of plans for each of those whenever it lands. So whenever we go here, if I land on the chin, it knocks him out. Number two is if I go here this way, I'm going my hip this way. So it's almost like a clothesline. Now this could lead us into a good clinch position like this here, if that's the option. If this is more of an MMA type setting, and I can start clinching this up for like a standing head and arm, and then look to make that work into my takedown for me, or look to crack him down into like maybe a referee's position on the ground, then that's also a really good setup too. So again, in this case here, he flares that. I throw and I land to this side over here, and then I'm going to go into the standing clinch and maybe look for a takedown or to keep it there and strike. The other one is if it lands on the other side of his head. Now on the other side of his head here, whenever he throws that this way, I go here, this. Now from this one, we're kind of mirror image, so it's kind of who takes advantage of this first. So a couple of things that I can look to do, I'm going to wing this one back like this, and I want to kind of reinforce it. Now if this is a Muay Thai type situation, then fantastic, because this is a great position for knees. I may just do this to break his posture, come back and be able to throw here and get back into striking range. Or I may be able to do something more as far as like standing clinch range goes, which is come through here and then wrap his head up. So this makes for a nice clinch too, and you can actually kind of get away with this for just like a hot second in boxing before the referee splits you up, because this is very dangerous. Now, if the referee doesn't split us up, or that's not an option, and I wind up in this, his head is in a great place for me to throw these little inside shots like that. I can go into standing guillotines if this is an MMA setting here like this, and I can maybe even hook here like this, and then look to throw and get my takedown and land on top. So lots of really good potential off that overhand right. Again, hopefully it knocks him out. If not, I have a contingency for wherever it lands. And that's preceded, like we talked about before, based off of his tell of winging those punches. So guys, make sure that you've got clean, straight punches, and you're not telling and giving that guy like this time to set up off of it, you know?
Well, and how does boxing and jiu-jitsu work together the same way we just showed you? Think it works great. But another thing, guys, off that bob, if you're a jiu-jitsu guy and you're out there and you're concerned about what do I do to avoid being punched in the face, bob. Yeah. This is a great defense. Even a lot of times, guys, if it's a new boxer, like I'll come in and I'll just bob my weight down every now and again. You know, I'll change my angles, but I'll just keep bobbing my head down because it's so hard to hit. And anybody who's out there who's experienced that can tell you, you wind up whiffing a lot of punches and losing a lot of energy if that guy's really evasive. Yeah. So if you're a jiu-jitsu guy out there, add that to your game. Maybe you don't want to strike, but drop your body down. That's a boxing mechanic that can really help you.
And wrestling mechanic. Any of those level changes like that, it's going to help your grappling and it's going to help your grappling, improve your striking and improve your grappling. Because maybe from here, it's not just a matter of me like bobbing to be able to miss the punch or set the punch or set up my overhand, but maybe I want to get him one time, boom, he sees that, and now he's expecting that overhand. And so next time I go, he's expecting the overhand, he guards up on the high line, and then I shoot instead. Right. So there's lots of different things you can make work off that level change, including the bob.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really want to hit that like super hard one more time, man. Like that, there's this idea that these things can come together, but again, like if you're in the striking scenario, like if you're a boxer, I see a lot of this where boxers, so I get rocked or whatever, for whatever reason, I decide I'm going to clinch up, right? We just kind of hold here and we give up the fight. You know, you see this a lot. You know, we're like, you know, like we're knocking on a door. You know, occasionally we try to get him in the side of the head. But what if I could manipulate that posture? Like if I get in here and we're locked up, like what if I could force him out here, you know what I mean? And I can start hitting the body and I can capitalize on those angles and I can capitalize on that because I'm active inside of that clinch. I'm not just lazily letting it happen.
Yeah, so blending ranges, guys, is what it's all about. And there's some good boxing mechanics and seeing how we can like use those to enhance our grappling to enhance the striking. So do it all, guys. And again, appreciate JD for having me come up here and get to visit with him and get to train and get to share some information. Or Mocto Boxing Club, guys, look it up if you're in this area of the world. So yeah, I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let's train more.
Yeah.
We got more ideas. Not done. Not done.